So we were reading the age of Indian textiles. So earlier we discussed about the history of the Indian trade and Indian textiles. Okay, जुन चाहिँ ट्रेड एन्ड टेक्सटाइल जुन चाहिँ पहिला इन्डियन मर्चेन्ट्सले कन्ट्रोल गर्थ्यो ओके यो स्लोली के हुँदै गयो ब्रेक हुँदै गयो 1750सदेखि यता चाहिँ सो 1750सदेखि यता अल दिस नेटवर्क अफ ट्रेड controlled by the Indian merchants, they started to break down. Okay, and this Indian trade was now slowly taken over by the European companies. So by this time, a lot of Europeans had started coming to India. Okay, and we all know that the Europeans had basically come to India for trade purpose. All right, so slowly उनीहरूले Indian trade line टेक ओभर गर्दै गर्दै गयो र जुन चाहिँ इन्डियन मर्चेन्ट्सहरू थियो पहिला है इन्डियन मर्चेन्ट्स इन्डियन जुन चाहिँ बिजनेसम्यानहरू ब्याङ्कर्सहरू थियो स्लोली दे वर टेकन ओभर बाई द युरोपियन कम्पनीज नाउ कसरी त्यो भयो भन्दाखेरि बिकज युरोपियन कम्पनीजले चाहिँ दे स्टार्टेड टु get concessions from the rulers. They started to firstly please the जुन चाहिँ लोकल रुलर्सहरू छ उनीहरूलाई प्लिज गर्नु थाल्यो है उनीहरूलाई गिफ्ट्सहरू दिएर दे स्टार्टेड टु गेट अ लट अफ कन्सेसन्स अन ट्रेड छुट पाउनु थाल्यो उनीहरूले ट्रेडमा ओके एन्ड नट ओन्ली द्याट दे अल्सो सिक्योर्ड मोनोपोली राइट टु ट्रेड मोनोपोली भनेको उनीहरूले मात्रै ट्रेड गर्ने राइट पाउनु थाले सो दस द इन्डियन जुन चाहिँ मर्चेन्ट्सहरू छ दे वर थ्रोन आउट अफ द कम्पिटिसन ओके सो उनीहरूले मात्रै ट्रेड गर्ने अब राइट्स पायो okay so now what happened as a result of this is that two main ports which were used earlier for trade international trade Surat and Hooghly these two ports started to decline okay र एक्सपोर्ट्स यो जुन चाहिँ पोर्ट्स सुरत र हुगलीबाट जति पनि एक्सपोर्ट हुन्थ्यो पहिला त्यो एक्सपोर्ट चाहिँ इट बिग्यान टु फल ड्रास्टिकली ओके जस्तै फर इक्जाम्पल यहाँ दिएको छ पहिला सुरतको पोर्टबाट ओके 16 मिलियन रुपिजको सामान के हुन्थ्यो एक्सपोर्ट हुन्थ्यो बट आफ्टर 1740s यो जुन चाहिँ 16 मिलियन पहिला हुन्थ्यो भने इट डिक्लाइन्ड टु ओन्ली 3 मिलियन सो this is how it's showing that the ports that were used earlier by the Indian traders slowly त्यो पोर्ट्सहरू पनि कम्ती युज हुन थाल्यो it lost its significance okay so export from these ports declined rapidly okay and जति पनि हाम्रो पहिलाको ब्याङ्कर्सहरू थियो ट्रेडर्सहरू थियो everybody started to become bankrupt okay bankrupt हुनु भनेको चाहिँ all their money was it was like त्यो पैसा डुब्यो whatever investment they had done त्यो सबै के भयो डुब्यो so that is what is called bankrupt okay and the new developments that came up after this was that new ports are developed भयो so सुरत र हुगली यो पोर्ट्सहरू चाहिँ सुक्दै गयो at the same time new ports were developed these new ports were Bombay and Calcutta okay so Bombay र Calcutta these were the new ports जुन चाहिँ युरोपियन्सहरूले ट्रेड गर्नको लागि युज गर्नु थाल्यो ओके सो सुरत एन्ड हुगली वाज लेस युज्ड instead of using those two ports Bombay and Calcutta these two new ports were used by the European traders in order to export goods from India to other countries okay and if you see mostly trade in these two ports were controlled by the European companies and they were transported with the by the European ships okay so what we see is that by 1750s mostly trade which was earlier controlled by the Indian merchants they now went into the hand of the European companies okay so slowly the Indian trade okay the Indian जुन चाहिँ market that was taken over by the European merchants okay so in the next topic we shall be reading about how did it affect or what did how did it change the life of the weavers and other artisans so यसरी European companies आएपछि चाहिँ weavers को life okay या market या artisans को life लाई चाहिँ कसरी affect गर्यो this is what our next topic shall be